This episode of On the Ropes is brought to you by BWC. Boxing with Chris is a YouTube channel and podcast that covers the latest in boxing news, updates on prospective fighters, as well as interviews of both past and present boxers. Be sure to follow us on YouTube and Instagram for more updates and news. BWC, keep it A more than 92. If you would like to have your advertisement featured here, please email boxingwithchrismedia@gmail.com. Enjoy the pod.
Who want to be great themselves, they got to go up against great fighters. It's not about, it's about fighting the best of the best. I turned pro when I was 15, 16. And it took me this long to get a pay-per-view. Since this fight is getting a lot of attention, this pay-per-view, the next fights will be pay-per-view. So if they don't want to fight, then what the fuck are they fighting for? Yeah, so this fucking dude, bro, all he does is run his fucking mouth. He never has facts right at all. If it wasn't for everybody avoiding me and ducking me, I definitely, 3 fights is where I want to be.
YouTube, what it do? It's your boy Chris from BWC, and you're now boxing with Chris. Before we get in tune with this On the Rope segment, I want to appreciate everybody that's been liking, subscribing, and tuning into our content. I gladly do appreciate it. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers. Make sure you hit that like button and subscribe button when you walk in the door. Joining me today on this On the Rope segment, he is the youngest super middleweight champion in history, one of the hardest hitters in boxing today, one of the most feared men in boxing today, El Bandera Roja, David Benavidez. So I got to put you on a hot seat real quick, big bro. How did this fight come about? Was it offered to you? Did you bring it to him? Because he goes on Instagram saying that he went out of his way to make it happen. So I need you to elaborate that for me, big bro.
Yeah, so this fucking dude, bro, all he does is run his fucking mouth. He never has facts right at all. So he had a fight with Anthony Durrell. I think it was October, something like that. But I had already fight, so I had a fight lined up to fight in January versus Uskateki. And I kind of, I had made a big deal because I was talking about I wanted this fight, and he never wants to take this fight with me. But as soon as he had that fight with Anthony Durrell, I already knew that there's an opportunity for this fight to happen. So we kept this training and stuff. And then Al Heyman called me. He said, "Hey, David. Well, do you want to have the fight with Uskateki first, or do you want to go into a fight with Caleb Plant?" I said, "Shit, let's do it with Caleb Plant. Like, I'm not trying to wait no more." He's all right. It's going to be extended a little more. It might be in March or April, but is that fine? I said, hell yeah, let's go. So that's how that came about, man. And so I don't know where Caleb Plant is saying that he made this fucking fight happen. It came from me. Obviously, Caleb Plant, seen that it was a big opportunity too, and he knew I was going to be vocal if he would have turned the fucking fight down. So, that's kind of how that came about, but I'm very happy, bro. I feel like it wouldn't have felt right if I would have took a fight with Uskateki because, for my fans, I really care a lot about my fans, and I want them to have the best fights possible coming from me. So that's how that fight came about, man, and I'm just very happy because, I feel like we're starting off already 2023 with some big fights, and I'm first on the biggest fight of the year, so I'm very excited.
All right, so one of the things I'm pretty sure makes you feel happy. So you've headlined at home before, but now you're headlining. This must be a dream, headlining the MGM Las Vegas, your very first pay-per-view. How does that feel?
Feels good, bro. It definitely feels really good. It reminds me of like the moments when I was a little kid and I had told myself I was going to fight on pay-per-view. And now that this moment has got here, I'm very happy. I've worked extremely hard, man. I've been professional 10 years already. I turned pro when I was 15, 16. And it took me this long to get a pay-per-view, but I feel like all the stuff we've done, we've done excellent work. We've done an excellent job. And these people are really excited to see this fight. There's like 13,000 tickets already sold. There's not that much left. There's still 2 months left. So I feel like we've done a hell of a job, and we hyped this fight up a lot. And now it's time for me to deliver my performance and win for all my fans. Like I told everybody I was going to knock Caleb Plant out. That's the plan, and we're going to follow up with that plan.
What does a big exclamation point win for this? What does it do for your team, and what does it do for David Benavidez' legacy? A statement win on March 25th. What would that do for your career?
So a statement win with this puts me into pay-per-view king. It definitely puts me into a big threshold of now I'm in pay-per-view. But that's why I really want to be a pay-per-view star. So I got to put everything on the line on March 25th. And with the knockout win, against Caleb Plant, that's exactly what it does. It makes me a pay-per-view star.
So when you've had these other, how do you get motivated when guys are avoiding you and you're not getting the fights you want, but then you finally get the fight you want? Is it now like you actually go to the gym like happy now? It's like, or is it you still train the same, or now is like now you actually not saying you've underestimated your previous opponents, but now that you've actually got somebody that you wanted, how does a training camp feel now compared to previous?
I've always loved boxing. That's the thing that's kept me around for so long. I've never lost my way with boxing. I mean, obviously I've had problems in my personal life and everything, and everybody wants to say this and that. But I mean, I'm a big fan of boxing, bro. I love boxing. I love training, and I love running, and I love doing all that stuff. That's just something for me, that a thing that I love. That's why I became a boxer, because I fell in love with boxing. So it was never a problem me getting to the gym. I only take 3 weeks off after every fight, and I go back into the gym. I'm always training. Even with this fight, I've been in the gym this whole time. So just the only thing is that people think that I don't train because I don't show or I don't post on Instagram, but I'm always in the gym. But now that I have this fight, it makes me put in a lot more work. I was already putting in a lot of work, but now it makes me work even harder. And it's for a big fight. It's a big fight. Now that I got this fight, I feel like everything else is going to fall in place. All these big fights are coming, and I'm excited, man. I'm excited to be a representative of Phoenix, Arizona. I put the city on my back, and it was so hard to come out of Phoenix, Arizona. So I know that's why a lot of people support me from there. I just want to show the kids, that there is another way to come out of Phoenix, Arizona, no matter what it is. Especially if you don't go to school or you do none of this, you could find your dream, and you could fall in love with boxing, and you could become a pay-per-view attraction. You know what I mean? And change the life for your family. So I feel like I'm coming into the second win of my career, because I'm basically 10 years in. I feel like I go another 15. So I'm very excited. I feel like all the work I've done in my career has been for this moment and whatever comes after.
Caleb Plant brings a different style. He moves, he's tricky. Has looking for sparring partners, anything similar to his style, or if it ain't broke, don't fix it. You're just doing what you've always done throughout your career.
Yeah, we've been getting a lot of boxers that move around a lot. Boxers that punch fast, that throw a lot. I've been working. I got a lot of guys. I got 4 different guys right now. We're gonna add in more. Probably gonna add in 3 more by the time we're finished with this training camp. And just working on the shit I got to work on, especially the stuff that I have to be sharp on. It's a fight night, and that's what I'm working on.
If it wasn't for all of these guys that avoided you, how many fights do you think you could see yourself having a year? Do you see yourself as a fighter that could fight 2 to 3 times a year if it wasn't all these guys avoiding you?
Realistically, 3 times. We've been fighting at 2 times a year, but I really want to get 3 times in there. I feel like I'm young, I haven't been through any wars at all. And I feel like 3 fights would be definitely the sweet spot that I want to hit. But yeah, 3 fights if it wasn't for everybody avoiding me and ducking me, 3 fights is where I want to be.
Why do you feel like you're so avoided? That has to be
there's just if you look at the record, bro, it's 26-0, 23 knockouts. I'm a big guy. I punch fast. I'm bigger than everybody in this weight class. And I got a fighting spirit, bro. If you hit me with 1, I have to come back with 2, and that's just how it's always been with me. Especially right now, me coming up through the ranks since I got my belt taken away, and now coming up through the ranks. I think at the time, realistically speaking, a lot of people seen me as too much of a risk and no reward. Especially now that this is barely my first pay-per-view, but I feel like, those are just excuses at the end of the day, man. I feel like if Charlo, any of those other guys wanted to fight me, these are all pay-per-view fights that people would pay to watch. So I can't even say it's low risk, high risk, low reward, because at the end of the day, pay-per-view is what everybody's trying to get to. So I don't know, these dudes. something, you know, they just, those dudes are just pussies. You know, I can't speak. I can't say that by myself because I'm not a pussy. You know, I'd fight anybody that's in front of me. But those guys, I mean, you have to talk to those guys about that. I mean, I can't speak on their behalf. I mean, if they look like pussies, they probably are pussies.
When it comes to your legacy, if the avoiding keeps running and these guys don't want to fight you, have you ever considered the move of going 175 pounds and challenging these bigger names up there also?
Yeah, I've always thought of that a lot. I feel like I have 4 fights left at 168, and you know, after this, hopefully it's Charlo, Canelo, not in that exact order, but you know, Canelo, David Morrell, and Andre. But I feel like if they duck me and they don't want to take this fight after this fight, I mean, it's just there's nothing I could do, bro. Like, because since this fight is getting a lot of attention, this pay-per-view, the next fights will be pay-per-view. So if they don't want to fight, then what the fuck are they fighting for? You know what I mean? And we're all fighting, trying to make it to pay-per-view. So if a person ducks me and doesn't want to fight me and we still got the pay-per-view, you know what I mean? It's just, I don't know. You know, it's just, that's, like I said, that's between the person ducking.
We've seen fighters, they have a competitive dislike, you know, but you guys seem to dislike. I don't even think that you guys are trying to sell it. I genuinely think you guys dislike each other. Like, if you guys saw each other in the middle of the street, you guys would throw down. Where does that dislike come from? And do you ever feel like it can throw you off of your game?
This dislike comes from him just thinking he's better than me. I feel like have you ever been in sports?
No, of course.
So you know, like the rivalry it is. It's just something in you. Somebody tells you they're better than you, and then you hear them behind talking shit. You know what I mean? So it just comes from that. Is this the type of person he is, bro? I fucking hate what type of person he is. He's the type of person, as you guys seen in the press conference, he doesn't say shit when I'm in front of him, but he fucking gets to the side. They do interviews on him. He's talking shit. I feel like if you're gonna talk shit, don't be a fucking bitch and say it to their face. You know what I mean? Like all that shit he talks and says this and that. But what happened at the press conference, bro? He didn't say shit. He didn't say anything. You know what I mean? And to your guys, he looked like he was cool, calm, and collective. But I know a pussy when I see one, and I know when somebody's scared of me. I've been doing this for too long, so for me not to know what that feels like, you know what I mean? So I'm just, it's just that dude, bro. You're just gonna run into people in life that you just don't like, and you know that's just what it is between me and him.
I seen your fault when I interviewed your dad. He made some statements where he wants to put him in the hospital.
My focus right now, it's Caleb Plant. We want to send him to the hospital. You know, we have.
I like the unity between you, your dad, Ryu, the whole team. You guys stick together as one. So is it like a whole camp doesn't fucking like this guy? If we had the chance to just catch him outside.
Bro, so like you seen that shit that happened. So these dudes, when we're all on their ass, bro. I don't give a fuck about none of that shit. We went in there and these dudes, his camera people, try to like rough up my camera guy and like put him like in a fucking arm, like chokehold. But they're playing with him. They're saying, "Oh yeah, you better not come over here." So I immediately told my camera guy, "What the fuck? Why are you letting these fucking guys do that shit to you?" You know, it's just not. I'm not gonna allow that shit. So that's why I had told my other homie slap the shit out of fucking their camera guy. So it's just everybody's on. It's just the whole camp is like that, bro. But I mean, it is what it is, bro. Sometimes this is what sells fights because this is real genuine beef. And it's not just between me; it's between the whole fucking team. So whatever they want to do, I mean, I'm with whatever. You know, I'm not gonna let nobody disrespect me, my team, and I kind of don't want to give off this persona that I'm just here talking shit to everybody because I'm not really like that, bro. I like to be quiet and calm, but there's just some people that, you know, they're really gonna try to test you, bro, and I'm not going for none of that.
I'm not gonna lie, you've grown on me. I'm not gonna say I didn't like you, but you've grown on me. I'm like, you know, he's just in the wrong era. He would have been good 10 years ago, I think. But one thing, were you impressed over his win over Anthony Dirrell, since that's a common opponent that you guys have in common? Were you impressed, or you feel like that's something he was supposed to do?
No, it was a good victory. I'm not gonna take nothing away from no fighter. It was a good victory, but if you see the whole fight, I mean, he was getting hit with some good shots. You know, everybody makes it seem like it was just that one punch that knocked out Anthony Dirrell, and Anthony Dirrell didn't do shit. But Dirrell was catching him with some good shots. And I've been in there with Dirrell. Dirrell doesn't have power at all, you know. So I know if I catch Plant with those same shots, he's going to sleep. And I don't know if you've seen the whole fight, but like, come on, dude, they had fans were there booing the whole fucking fight. I think there was one round where they're booing the shit out of him because they didn't want to engage with each other. So I mean, he had a good fight, but I just don't understand why nobody's bringing up how he looked against Porky Medina. We bringing up common opponents. I fucking knocked Medina the fuck out, and when he fought Porky Medina, he didn't do shit. He didn't do anything. You know what I mean? So I mean, it's just like a lot of these people think that he's just gonna outbox me. He's going in there. He's gonna go in there, outbox me. I've never been outboxed by anybody. Fights or sparring. Everybody I've touched, I've hurt. Every single fucking fight, every sparring session, everybody I touch, I hurt. Believe me when I tell you this. I'm not lying. And so what makes you think Caleb Plant is any different? You think that he's going to be able to run from me the whole 12 rounds? Or you think he's going to go in there and knock me out? You know what I mean? It's just like a lot of these people, I mean, I understand that this is art. I mean, this is at the end of the day sweet science. When people always say that the smart boxer beats the pressure fighter that comes up and throws power shots. But look, think about it, bro. I'm a bigger guy. I'm like 3 inches bigger than him. You know what I mean? I hit hard. My resume, I have more knockouts on my resume. We could say that I didn't knock anybody out, but he didn't fucking, the 13 people he knocked out, they weren't nobody either. Why? Everybody he fights, they're not really that good. Only the past 3 opponents are pretty good. And so why hasn't he knocked everybody out? You know what I mean? So, I mean, it's just a lot of shit that's been going on, a lot of shit that people have been talking that's been getting me, you know, I'm not going to say mad, but it's been motivating me a lot. You know, I listen to what everybody says, and even people that I thought were on my side, they're saying that I'm going to lose. So I'm going to prove everybody wrong.
Any message to the Donald Ducks, man? We know the names. Any message to the Donald Ducks that you got to put on blast? What does David Benavidez got to say to the Donald Ducks that don't want to swim with the big fish?
I just want to tell all the fighters, man, we deserve this to the fans. I mean, especially we're coming up to pay-per-view. You know, the people, they pay money. They want to see great fights. So for the people who want to be great themselves, they got to go up against great fighters. It's not about, you know, it's about fighting the best of the best. That's how the arrows were back then, and I just kind of want to bring that up. I want to bring that back. You know, and if people, they don't want to bring it up, or they want to keep ducking, well, fuck them. Everybody sees them and everybody knows they're pussies. And I'm not one of those guys. So my job, I'm definitely going to be always trying to give you guys the best fights I could possibly give you. And you guys got my word from that. And I appreciate everybody. Thank you so much.
Well, I'm on the East Coast. You have a lot of fans out here. I don't know if you've noticed, but the people love you out here. You got a lot of fans out here. When do you see yourself maybe bringing a fight to the Garden, to Barclays, where you're the headliner?
I think soon, bro. I think after this fight, I got a lot of people out there in the East Coast too, so I would love to fight the Barclays Center. That's definitely one of my dreams. You
got a message for the youth. You got a lot of people that look up to you. You're a superstar, whether you believe it or not. A message for the youth that don't have a team like you in the corner, and you know, some advice that you could just give to the young upcoming guy in the gym right now.
I just want to tell all the guys, man, it all starts up here. You have to believe in yourself. You know, a lot of things might not happen your way, but you always gotta be consistent and work hard and stay dedicated. You know, there's always you're that close, you're this far away from whatever you want to accomplish, and it's not easy. Nothing is ever going to be easy. Everything that's worthwhile is not easy. You know what I mean? So as long as you believe yourself, you have faith in your God, you can accomplish anything.
All right. Last question before we wrap it up, David. Where do you see yourself in the 5 years? I know it's far away, but where does David Benavidez see himself at the age of 31? What certain accomplishments do you want to accomplish?
I want to see myself. I want to definitely be on the pound for pound list. I want to be unified at 168, and I want to be unified at 175 too. I know it's a tough task to do, but those are my dreams, and I'm going to accomplish them.
David, I appreciate your time. I appreciate you. Best of luck out there. I'll see you in Vegas. We're going out to Vegas, so we'll definitely catch you out there. Best of luck to you out there. Praises to you and the family. You have a good night, and we'll be in touch, champ.
Yes, sir, brother. God bless.